We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Wednesday, April 30th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and welcome to News Generation. Joining us today is Park Kyun.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And Grace Park.
Great to be here.
Happy Wednesday. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. As usual, we're going to begin our show with our keyword news. Our keyword for this Wednesday is tuition. A new report shows that over 70% of four-year universities in South Korea have raised their tuition fees this year in the biggest hike in 15 years. According to data by the Ministry of Education, the average annual tuition for four-year universities is now roughly 7.1 million Korean won, or just over $5,100, which is up about $195 from last year. Now, notably, medical schools top the list with an average of over 10 million won, or more than $7,300 per year. So I want to ask you, Grace, do you feel that tuition today is significantly more expensive compared to when you were in college? And do you think that university education in Korea is fairly priced? What do you think?
Yeah, it seems like quite an increase compared to when I was in college. I went to school in the US and remember thinking that it was super expensive even back then. It seems like the current average in-state tuition in the United States is almost $12,000, which in my opinion is super high, and I don't know how students would be able to pay for it out of pocket without getting a student loan. And these loans, of course, carry into life after college. I heard that many students in Korea are now taking out more loans to get their education. And while I do think that rising tuition is inevitable with inflation, I do think that more measures are needed to ensure that students can get the education that they want without this heavy financial burden.
And I think that we're seeing more college graduates trying to pay back their student loans even after, way after they graduate, even after they get a work.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think, Yoon?
Just comparing university tuition fees among developed nations, South Korea is considered reasonable on paper alongside Japan. Although it is lower than the average tuition fee of university in the US and UK, it is much higher than countries like Germany, France, and Scandinavia with either free or heavily subsidized education fees. This will, like what Grace just mentioned, this will ultimately burden the parents as well of the students and further strain students once they graduate, if they do take out a student loan, as they will start their careers with debt on their shoulders. Like currently, the job market isn't the most stable right now, and once they do graduate, it is a new beginning of their careers. But once they jump into the jungle, it's going to be more difficult than actually studying in the universities. And in Korea, studying, graduating from university is not actually getting into a university is really difficult. And once they do graduate, I mean, it loses their hope. Starting with debt and not being able to find the job they actually want once they graduate. So it is a bleak future, but like Grace mentioned, we need better measures from the government and the Ministry of Education.
Definitely. And that was our keyword news for this Wednesday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Wednesday is when we dive into the latest lifestyle trends shaping our generation. Take a look at the screen to find out more about today's topic. When it comes to lifestyle, hobbies play a huge part. One hobby that has stood the test of time is binge-watching dramas. Korean dramas and TV shows have been stealing the spotlight on the global stage for quite a while now. So today we're going to walk you through the latest K-dramas that are captivating viewers around the world. So starting off our episode today, Kyun, do we have any stats or figures that really just show how mainstream Korean shows have become among global audiences?
We do actually. According to recent data released by global media analytics firm Ampere, K-Content now ranks second right after the US in terms of total viewing hours on Netflix. And what's even more impressive is that it has surpassed traditional content powerhouses like the UK and Japan, loved for its drama series and, of course, animation. And beyond drama series, reality programs like Culinary Class Wars topped the chart since its release back last September. And most recently, Kian's Bizarre B&B is receiving global attention and views as well. I think also thanks to BTS's Jin. And so I think K-drama and K-content is solidifying its position as a major force in the global entertainment scene.
Right, so K-dramas and K-reality shows have indeed reached a remarkable feat. So Kyun kind of mentioned some of the biggest hits these days when it comes to the K-content industry, but Grace, could you also provide us a bit more examples?
Yeah, following the widespread success of Squid Game 1 and 2, Korea has produced many more hit dramas like The Trauma Code, Heroes on Call, When Life Gives You Tangerines, as well as other popular shows that Kyun mentioned like Culinary Class Wars and Kian's Bizarre B&B. Recently, we also saw 5 Korean dramas make it onto Netflix's global top 10 non-English series chart, taking up half of the total titles on the list. These titles were, of course, When Life Gives You Tangerines, Karma, Friendly Rivalry, Resonant Playbook, and Weak Hero Class 2.
I see. So before we move on further, we are first going to take a look at our viewers' comments. We also asked our viewers which K-dramas they've been tuning into recently, and we are going to take a look at 3 of their picks. Our first pick for this Wednesday is by Cher Thin. I watched The Scandal of Chunhwa. What a romantic script, but it had intriguing plots and women fighting for change in their own way. Loved it. Dark Sky Madian says, When Life Gives You Tangerines, I found it a very refreshing take on life that shows the hardships couples can break through together in the name of love. Never Ever X7C says, the last K-TV series that I watched was Joyoung the Paranormal Detective, and I enjoyed it so much. I'm obsessed with detective mystery fiction, and that was a good series. So a lot of good recommendations from our viewers, but we're gonna zoom in now on some of the Korean dramas making waves this year. So first up, this was mentioned by one of our viewers. It is the Netflix series When Life Gives You Tangerines, which is still going strong on the charts more than a month after its release back in March. So Yoon, for our viewers who may not be familiar with this show, could you give us a quick rundown of the plot?
Sure thing. So When Life Gives You Tangerines is a heartfelt Korean drama that unfolds over several decades, beginning in the 1950s on Jeju-do Island. The story centers on Oh Hae-sun, played by IU, a spirited young woman with dreams of becoming a poet, and Yang Kwan-sik, played by Park Bo-gum, her loyal childhood friend whose quiet loyalty anchors their evolving relationship. Set against the backdrop of Jeju-do Island's unique culture and history, the series portrays the duo's journey through the life's trials and triumphs, including societal expectations, personal ambitions, and the enduring power of love. As they navigate the complexities of growing up and growing apart, their bond is tested and reaffirmed across the seasons of their lives. The narrative structure is divided into 4 parts, each corresponding to a season, symbolizing different phases in Hae-sun and Kwan-sik's lives. This seasonal progression reflects the passage of time and the evolution of their relationship.
So, and now, Grace, I want to ask you, tell us how big of a hit this show has become, not just here in Korea, but in other parts of the world too.
Yeah, the drama has been very well received, both domestically and internationally. The series has been praised for the performances of all its actors, the screenplay, and the cinematography. We've also seen it blow up on social media with all kinds of memes about the character Kwan-sik, which is played by actor Park Bo-gum, becoming really popular because the character is such a sweet, loving, and sacrificial husband and father in the drama. It seems like the viewers and fans around the world are now calling their boyfriends, husbands, friends, and fathers who portray similar qualities as my Kwan-sik. And we're also seeing people posting messages on social media like, where's my Kwan-sik? I want to find a Kwan-sik someday. And every woman needs a Kwan-sik.
Right, so it's not just these lovely characters who were featured in this show, but I think what also won the viewers' hearts was how the show beautifully blends the unique local culture of Jeju Island with the emotions and themes that really a lot of people around the world can resonate with, right, Yoon? What do you think?
Absolutely. I should change my name to Park Kwan-sik.
Maybe you should.
So what's particularly interesting about this series is how it captures uniquely Korean elements like the Jeju dialect and its historical setting in a very authentic way. Although some parts may be challenging for international audiences to fully understand, foreign viewers still strongly connect with and respond to the emotional subtext. The storytelling, which appeals deeply to emotions, has resonated with many viewers all over the world. Additionally, the series highlights traditional Korean values
Right.
such as the importance of looking after one another as members of a community, which offers a refreshing and distinctive appeal to the Western audience.
Right. So if you're interested in When Life Gives You Tangerines, you can watch the show on Netflix. All 16 episodes are out, so you can visit and watch it. But I want to ask you, Grace, are there any other K-dramas or Korean content that have been really turning heads overseas as well?
Yeah, another hit drama is Karma, which quickly made its way up in the global charts almost immediately after its release. The crime thriller has topped the charts in Southeast Asia, and viewers in North America and Europe are also joining in on the binge-watching craze. Karma has captivated audiences, with some referring to it as a masterpiece of storytelling, and it's sparking discussions on social media. Also, U.S. news publication Time Magazine and digital entertainment publication Collider have given the drama rave reviews, crediting its success to the gripping narrative and unexpected twists that carry it beyond just the typical thriller genre, as well as the character development and engaging performances of the actors.
What's really interesting is that these two shows are very different in terms of themes. I think this kind of leads us to the question, what makes Korean drama so appealing to the international audience? So to find out the answer after the break, we'll hear directly from a young K-drama fan from India. Stay tuned.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
Today, we're pleased to welcome Indian Gen Z Kali Bageshri back to the show. Welcome back to the show, Kali.
Hi.
Hi, good morning. So, Kali, we heard that you are a big K-drama fan, so we first want to start off by asking you, what's the most interesting Korean drama you've watched recently, and what made it really stand out for you?
So recently I just finished watching When Life Gives You Tangerines, and I really loved the drama because it was so interesting, impactful, and very well made. And I think what connected and what stood out for me the most was how they showed like three generation of women fighting their own battles and struggling and making life better for the next generation, for their daughters, and how it was connected without complicating it for the audience. And also the fact that it was made in Korea, it was a Korean drama with Korean culture, but international audience also could connect to it. Like we could find it relatable and see the emotions through, and the way it crossed borders, it just shows that how beautifully it was made. And also I think they were talking to our generation, telling us that we should respect our parents and see their struggles, and the life that we got today is because of them. So the meaningful life lessons that stood out for me.
Well, you summed it up better than me. In your opinion, what makes Korean dramas different, unique from dramas in other countries?
Oh, that's an interesting question. So I think K-dramas have emotional depth, relatability, and connectivity with the audience. For example, I used to watch Western shows before K-dramas. That now I've stopped it. Now it's only K-dramas. But when I used to watch Western shows, it was like if something bad happens to a character, I would be like, oh, that's so sad. And I would move on with my life. But something bad happens to a character in K-drama, I feel so bad. Like in When Life Gives You Tangerines, I was crying in every episode because I felt the pain of the characters. And I was very emotionally invested in those characters. So the emotional connectivity these K-dramas create that makes audience connect to the characters, and we feel their pain, and their characters and the message stays with us for a longer time. So I think that is what is different in K dramas than other shows.
So, Kali, are there any genres or storylines that you'd love to see explored more in future K-dramas?
Um, I would love to see more of psychological thrillers, like in an interesting way, talking about social issues that go on, but showing it in an interesting way so that people don't feel they're being educated or preached. So one of my favorite K-drama is also The Glory, where they talk about the social issue of school bullying. And the way it was shown was so powerful. Even I knew bullying before too, but after watching that K drama, my perspective towards it changed. It was made like this is a serious issue which should be talked about. So if there are more such dramas talking about social issues and giving audience a new perspective towards life and staying with us, giving us meaningful life lessons, we would love that.
Sounds interesting. All right, Kali, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
It was
Thank you.
pleasure talking to you guys.
Us too. All right, so ending off, for anyone who are new to Korean dramas, what are some tips or must-dos so that they can enjoy them to the fullest?
So I think Korean dramas offer a diverse range of elements like culture, history, trendy places, and food, of course, within great acting and storyline. And among these elements, if viewers pay a little more attention to the food and beverage they see on the screen, and actually trying them out themselves, I think they can better immerse into the story beyond just the visuals and the audio. There are many combinations of Korean food and drinks that go well with. For example, there's chicken and beer, chimek, which most people know. There's also samgyeopsal with soju, which we Koreans call samso. We abbreviate it to samso. And in terms of snacks, there's dalgona, which we saw from the Squid Game. And like dalgona was something that my parents, my grandparents' generation used to eat, and I didn't grow up eating dalgona. Well, I did know about it, but it wasn't like a popular kind of Korean traditional candy. But once it came out on Squid Game, everyone was trying it out, and
they were trying to make it,
trying
right?
to carve it out so they could get another one. And not just that, it just shows that even with Korean drinks as well, like Korean soju, and there's also makgeollis. And once you watch traditional Korean dramas, the historical traditional Korean dramas, you can see what the kings used to eat. And like all the side dishes and the big tables. So if you can actually, and it's really, Korean food is so accessible these days all around the world. So if you do get the chance to actually try these Korean foods out, you can better understand the drama.
Right.
And I guess that's just one tip from me.
And I think that it also gives us who are living in Korea to re-explore Korean cuisine and more of Korean culture. What do you suggest, Grace?
Yeah, I actually just started watching When Life Gives You Tangerines.
Are you enjoying it until now?
Yeah, but it's such a tearjerker for me because I can relate to the plot after hearing real life stories from my grandparents, my parents about life in Korea in the 60s to the 90s. So yeah, it's that much more meaningful to me watching those parts of life that my family actually lived through. And as with any story or movie, I think that knowing the background or the history makes it much more captivating and impactful. And since I have also visited Jeju Island, the setting really came to life as I've seen in person the yellow, flower fields and oceanside homes that were built with volcanic rocks. So yeah, I definitely encourage you to travel to the different places that K-dramas are set in because it really maximizes the viewing experience.
Right, and I think as Kali mentioned, that will help the message that each drama is trying to convey to the viewer stay longer.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you have any K-dramas that you'd like to recommend, please leave a comment below on today's episode. And that's all we have for today, but NewsGen will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks to Park Hyun.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, and Grace Park.
Thank you.
Thank you, and to our viewers, thank you for spending time with us, and we'll see you tomorrow. We are
News Generation.